Welcome back, everybody. Red G Fox. So today, nothing like normal. We don't have Fun Fact Friday. We don't have our episode breakdown, but we have something that I really am passionate about, and that's always going to be Sanford and Son. And hopefully you love it as much. If you do, like, subscribe, stick around, because you're going to have videos every week and talking about something that we all love. And if you don't know Sanford and Son, go watch the show. Be part of this community and go watch the show. So today, I was thinking about Esther and Fred, and they're the two biggest storms in the show, to where when they go heads up, it literally is Godzilla versus King Kong. Two boxing matches and two of the best at it. And it's so ironic that they were actually friends in real life. So, really good friends. And the best part of all that is that they actually have some episodes where they team up together. That's what I wanted to talk about today. We'll go over 3 instances. Now, there are some side ones, right, where she's trying to have a son and Woody gets blasted and Fred has to come over and bail her out. I don't know if they really team up on there, because Fred, remember, he's not having it. He's just doing his best to help out. This is one where they actually team up. And the first one is, and this is in order of the series as well, the first one is probably one of the greatest, if not great. Almost any fan will tell you this is one of the top 3 episodes probably in all time. We all have our favorites. This one is probably in my top 5. It's not my favorite, but in the community in the past, this has always been, as well it deserves, the #1 episode, or the scenes people bring up from it. And it's so good because when Fred finds out, this is called Mama's Baby, Papa's Maybe. When Fred finds out that big money grip with the swivel hip actually thinks that he is Lamont's father, Fred is furious, right? He's mad and he thinks it's a joke. And then when Grady and then they confront him, he finds out and he's like, how could you say that? And they go, he gets Esther over. He wants Esther there because right there, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And so he goes, this is my enemy now. This is an old buddy of mine, but he is my enemy, trying to take the one thing I love more than anything else. And he knows no one. Remember when they had the gangsters there? He got Esther over there because he knew she'd clear him out. And I guarantee you the first thing he thought of is, I got to get Esther over here, because if Esther hears this and he starts slamming the name of his sister, who she holds in the highest regard, it's going to be go time. So Esther's there and he comes over and Fred's not really nice to her, but he just says he's got something to say. And then when Big Money Grip comes in, he sees her and and it's so funny how they're such good friends. Hey, it's so great. My sister was crazy about you. And Big Money Grip has that huge smile. Huge smile like, I told you, Fred. And then when he said, Fred's like, hey, she's got something to say. Go ahead and say it. And when he drops the, Lamont Sanford is my son. And Esther's face. And she says the line. And she gets up. And it is go time. And all you see is, how pissed she is. And then the camera cuts to Fred. He's got the biggest grin. It's exactly what he wanted. He's got this raging bull on his backside as a teammate now, and they double team, and they get up, and then they're ready to go. And Esther's ready to put her foot in his, and then Fred stops her. Wisely so, he stops her. But man, Esther was, the best is how they keep going back and forth. And then they say, she's like, let's beat the hell out of him. And she's gonna go and double team him. So Fred actually, which is weird, because usually it's them. And it's so ironic to see Fred pulling Esther back. It's something that's probably why this is so iconic. It's the only time in probably show history that I can think of off the top of my head where Fred's actually stopping Esther from destroying someone. So as they get to that, and we know what happens with Lamont, and everything's cleared up and everything's good to go, and we find out, hey, you know what? Lamont doesn't give a dang. He's staying with, he's got his pop. It doesn't matter what anything else is. Then Big Money Fred's like, you can get out of here, Grip. And Esther's like, no. He ain't gonna go around slamming the name of my sister. And she's still ready to go after him until he admits it. And then they break it down. And then Fred goes, you know what? I think he was in your room. Oh, man. That whole scene. I love that one where they team up. And I think that's part of it. Had they not teamed up, there's so much great stuff in that episode. But the team up, the first time ever, it is where it is kind of like, imagine having King Kong and Godzilla now teaming up, which they're actually going to make a movie of that. Go figure. But they team up in there, and that's what it's like. So that was #1. The next time, and if a lot of diehards, if you're watching, you're still watching, you already know all this, but I'm hoping you still stick around because it's fun to talk about it. Leave in the comments if there's anything else, there's other moments that you think were, I know she was the bronze goddess when she helped him out. I wouldn't call that a team up, but more of a, hey, they were on the same level as opposed to some of these other ones. So let's get to #2, and that is another great one. My Fair Esther. And in this one, Woody wants to win he's going to enter the Watts Businessman. And it's a Watts Businessman wife's beauty pageant. And Fred's like, you know what, she ain't going to win no pageant. Fred being typical Fred. But when he hears about the cash prize, and he's like, hey, I can get half of that. He said he could turn Esther into, a sow's purse one thing, but a sow's face. As he tries to, he quotes from, I can't remember what it was, the one where he, is it My Fair Lady? Whatever that was. But as he's trying to change her. So when he gets together with her, there's multiple things that are so funny. When she gets there and he tries to get the makeup on her, and she's like, oh, no, that's the devil's paint. That's the devil's paint. And he's like, it's either that or I drive you through Earl Shive. And in that, even you could see Fred is putting full effort in. It's not something where he's, even though they make jokes, he's really trying to help her. He wants her to win this because it's all about the money, but they team up and he puts the differences aside. And then he tries to get her with the posture. And he's like, it looks like you got prune pits. And it's so funny when he tells her how great her walk is. Her walk is horrible. She looks like a zombie and with her walking bull-legged. But it's got absolute brilliant comedy of the two biggest rivals in the show. And it's, like I said, I think there's only 3. But my favorite part of this one is when they do the duet together and how they sing the song. And they obviously, I wonder if they were supposed to, in the episode, actually sing it, like they were supposed to actually sing that real song, right? By the Old Mill Stream. And then they started adding the words, because did they really design it to be kind of a comedic for the beauty contest? Obviously for us to show they did. But I always wondered when I watch it, I'm like, were they supposed to sing the original song, but they kept insulting each other into it? Or was it supposed to be insults? And if you watch closely, most people, if you've seen enough, already know it. But at the very end, when they're all done doing their duet together, Esther goes like this, like she wants to kiss him jokingly, because she's got a grin. And it's so good. I almost feel like it was spontaneous. And then Fred looks over and he's like, makes that face, and he's like, it's a great scene. One of my, with Sanford and Son, there's hundreds. There's 136 episodes. We have thousands of great scenes. But when I say it like this is like up there with B.B. King and Big Money Grip. And this one right here, I feel like at times it's not talked about a lot. But the one where she enters the contest and he helps her, it's got great comedy from Lamont not making a judgment, trying to be fair. From when she goes up there and doesn't win, and Fred rips to the judges' table and rips the whole tablecloth off, and all the judges throw their hands back. When he's trying to put the thing on, the sash on Esther, and she's like going crazy on the stage, doing everything she can. Doesn't even want to win it at this stage. But Fred does help her. He does help her get top 3, which is amazing considering how he always calls her so ugly. In real life, we know Esther was not. She was a pretty woman. She just tried to act mean. But when she made a smile, she had a great smile. But yeah, that one, I'm trying to think what I like more. I probably like that episode more of them because they're together longer and they have this goal of winning this whole thing. And Fred, even though he wants his money, and they do the duet together. A duet between the two biggest rivals in show history, and they do such a good job of singing. Esther as well as she can, but Fred, always a great singer. So let's move on to the last one, and that is Lamont in Love. And this is a good one. It's funny because Fred has to, Lamont knows his dad. And he's like, hey, you know what? I'm not going to let my dad. And remember, I'm not doing episode breakdown. We'll get to that in 2 years at this season. I think season 5. But as he goes to it, he's like, I got to get to know her. Or I think I got to get to know her. And Lamont lets him do it in his own way so Fred doesn't feel like he figures it out on his own. But to get there, Esther's like, he talks to Hoppy's mom first. Right? Hoppy's mom, she gives him the idea, and then he has to get a sidekick, and he gets Esther. So he brings in Esther, and he's like, look, we need to find a way to find out what's going on with this. And Esther's all down. And they go there, and she's taking notes, like they're trying to find out stuff about the household, and really they're trying to find out her. And Fred goes as Columbo. And then Esther's like, oh, his nickname's Old Dumbo. Great line. And the scene of them just trying to work together to get to know Janet Lawson more. Really good. This is, of the 3, this would probably be the least, it's still funny, but the least memorable as opposed to them doing a duet or Big Money Grip teaming up against him. But this was the last one where they actually worked as a unit for a little while. And then when Fred got what he wanted, he's like, hit the road. You can go home. No one's going to attack you or whatever. So I think that's it. Yeah, the other ones, like I said, they had a few episodes where they help each other out, but none of them were as good as these where they actually teamed up. These are the 3 major team ups where you take the 2 biggest villains and make them allies and it's so fun. It's so memorable, right? It's something to where share, like I said, comments. Do you like it more? I actually like it more when they're together than as opposed to when they are rivals. The comedy is better when they're rivals, but I just like seeing them almost like real life, how they probably were buddies together, cracking jokes and everything. So leave a like, leave a subscribe, put in the comment section what you think, what's your favorite of these three when they team up, and what's your favorite line or joke from it. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you in 2 days with, even though it's a holiday on Monday, I'm still going to have episode breakdown for this coming episode for season 1 still. We're still in season 1. Thanks a lot. And for everyone who's subscribing, seen some of our newest videos, thank you so much. It means a lot. I'm excited. I want to keep going. Let's get this to 500, then to the 1,000. Keep climbing. And as we get bigger, the more trivia. And oh yeah, quick thing. Did you notice the new one? I'm going to start doing that. I have the trivia questions still. I love the polls. The polls are a blast, especially hearing what everyone thinks on it. And now a new one I came up with where I said, how about we do, it's still in quiz format, but how about we do the one finish the line? So I'm going to start putting quotes out there a couple times a week where we'll quote an episode and you got to finish what's the correct line that goes with it. Let me know what you think of that as well. Have a great holiday weekend or a great Monday. Talk to you guys later. Peace.